This is the fully electric EL7, a full-sized SUV from NIO. Today we're gonna test range, consumption, acceleration and noise of this big SUV. So just some information. VLTP range up to 509 kilometers, but that's with the standard 19-inch wheels. This one is driving on the extra equipped 21-inch wheels, 265s, 45s all around, Pirelli P0. So this specific version has a VLTP range of 479 kilometers. So we get approximately 25 to 30 kilometers of range loss due to bigger rims. Some more facts: 653 horsepower, driving on all four wheels, 850 Newton meters of torque. This one is running the big battery pack, so 100 kilowatt hours battery pack. The small pack, 75 kilowatt hours, is also possible to get, but then of course with lower range. The stated acceleration time, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 0 to 62 miles per hour, is 3.9 seconds. So that's also the spec we're trying to beat. NIO as a brand seems to have a great focus on keeping the noise levels inside the cabin as low as possible. Especially the ET7, that's the most silent car I have ever tested. The ET5 was also silent compared to the competition in the same class. I don't know about this one, but it feels silent when I drive it. It has double pane acoustic glass at the front, the windshield. The front row, the same. The rear row, also acoustic glass. At the back, no normal glass. So almost insulated acoustic glass all around, but not the boot. But before measuring the noise and testing the acceleration, we will start by testing the range and consumption. Let's go. Let me just explain the rules of the range test. So the test cycle is 80 kilometers long. I'm always driving the exact same route and trying to keep it as consistent as possible despite which car I'm driving. So the cabin temperature is always set to auto, 20 degrees Celsius, always activating, if possible, if available, the Eco Drive mode. So currently I'm driving in Eco. The third rule is to always stay to the speed limits. And when it comes to the speed limits, the average speed of this 80 kilometers trip is 93 kilometers per hour. So it speeds between 50 all the way up to 110 kilometers per hour. So that's more or less the framework of this consumption test. And at the end, I'm gonna compare the result with other cars that I have tested for the same route. The first check-in, I have been driving for 30 kilometers flat. Average consumption is just above 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. That's still a fairly high consumption, but this is a big car. It's a heavy car. It's a big SUV. So I don't expect a tremendously good consumption. And by the way, I have a man cold. That's why my voice is a bit strange today. And I feel very sad for myself because, you know, man colds are really tough to get past, to get through. So wish me luck. The EL7 is really a quiet car. Earlier I tested the ET7, the sedan version, the big sedan from NIO. This is the SUV sibling to the ET7. But it's so silent that I'm not sure if the cabin is extremely silent or if it's my man cold that limits my hearing. I'm not sure, but I had a similar experience in the ET7, so it's probably the car that's very silent. But I am going to measure the noise level in the cabin after this, so don't miss that. And double pane windows all around, seems to have very good insulation. There is not a lot of road noise, and that's despite having the big wheels. So driving on 21-inch wheels, that's extra on this car, by the way. Standard wheels are 19-inch. And that's the official signal for passing the halfway. 40 kilometers put behind. Average consumption 19.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. That's 19.5. So the consumption is slowly creeping downwards, but still a bit high. The driving conditions is good. 18 degrees Celsius outside. Still no rain. Totally dry roads. No wind to talk about at all. So almost perfect conditions for driving a range test with an electric car. Could have been a couple of degrees higher for even more optimal condition, but 18 degrees is good. So the result we get here is probably the best possible with this car. I'm back home. I have finalized the range and consumption test. I have adjusted the consumption and it ended up at 19.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. And the deduction is due to the car is actually under-reporting the travel distance by 0.75%. After that deduction, the average consumption ended up at 19.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. So that equals to a full range of 480 kilometers. Stated VLTP range for this current setup with the 21-inch wheels is 479 kilometers. So we just beat the specified VLTP range with 1 kilometer. That's a great margin. So it delivers as promised when it comes to range. That's always nice to see. I mean, it's not a low consumption. It's fairly high, to be honest, but it's at least in the range of the specification. So that's one good thing. And I mean, it's a big and it's a heavy car. So that's what you can expect in this type of conditions. I mean, it's fairly good conditions or almost perfect conditions for scoring a good range. So expect lower range during rainy days, windy days, cold weather, winter, snow. Yeah, you know it. This is the best you probably will be able to do. Let's move on and look at the acceleration times 0 to 100 kilometers per hour and 0 to 60 miles per hour. Okay, so it's time for the first acceleration test in the NIO EL7 with the big battery. State of charge 92%. Sports mode plus active. Go. It's quick, it's quick.
0 to 60 miles per hour time 3.82 seconds. 0 to 100 cave time 3.99 seconds.
So that was the first attempt. Let's do another try. Attempt number 2, Sports Plus mode active, state of charge 91%, foot on the braking pedal, pressing the accelerator for launch mode. Go.
0 to 60 miles per hour time 3.75 seconds. 0 to 100 cave time 3.94 seconds.
So very close to the specified time, 3.94 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.75 seconds. This is on the second attempt, state of charge now 90%, 15 degrees outside, totally dry roads. Let's do a last attempt. 90% state of charge, foot on the braking pedal, Sport Plus mode active, go. Oh, lost some grip there.
0 to 60 miles per hour time 3.68 seconds. 0 to 100 cave time 3.89 seconds.
So 3.89 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 3.69 seconds, 0 to 60 miles per hour. So beating the specified time by a small margin, but it seems like it's going better for every try. So I think if I do another try, I will get at least the same time. So the best possible time I achieved during these different runs was 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.89 seconds. Compare that to the specified time at 3.9 seconds. So just below the specified time. That's also good. So delivers not only when it comes to range, also when it comes to acceleration. And 0 to 60 miles per hour is 3.69 seconds. Also a really good time. I mean, it's a big and chunky car, so impressive results. So it feels like the 653 horsepower and 850 newton meters of torque really makes sense and does a great job in this big and heavy car. And I must say that I'm pretty impressed with the traction. It gives you a bit of a torque steering, so the motor at the front is actually really strong. So you really need to hold the steering wheel. It gives you a small piece of torque steering, makes the car feel a bit more alive than other cars I've tested. So I guess that's good. Let's move on to the cabin noise test. And as I always do, I measure the cabin noise in 4 different speeds: 50, 70, 90, and 110 kilometers per hour. That's always the thing I do, and I always do it on the same strip of asphalt. So I always get the same conditions to be able to compare it to other cars. The EL7 makes no exception. It's a very silent SUV. One of the most silent cars I ever tested. The most silent car I have tested is actually the sedan version of this, and that's the ET7. But keep in mind, that's the most silent car I have ever tested for all my tests ever. And that was on 19-inch soft rubber winter tires. So it has an edge towards this one. This one is running on 21-inch summer tires, a bit harder rubber, so a bit more noisy than the ET7 tires. So a bit hard to compare, but on winter tires or on the 19-inch wheels, this will be a bit more silent. And now, of course, I'm talking about soft rubber, non-studless winter tires, not studded winter tires, because those will probably be even more noisy. Compared to the Mercedes EQS 450 I tested like a couple of weeks ago, that was a bit more silent than this one is, and it was running on 20-inch wheels, but it is a sedan. Sedans tend to be a bit more silent, especially because of the boot is a closed area, of course, so it will stop some replication of noise inside the cabin. The other car that's just above this one is the surprisingly silent F-150 Lightning. So expect a comfortable ride, silent cabin, a really pleasant drive in this car. It's an all-inclusive car, you know. You get the comfort package, you have everything in that, massage seats on all 4 positions, and I tend to say that a lot, but the massage seats in NIO is another level. I think it's the best massage seats I have ever tried. I mean, I like the massage seats in the Mercedes EQS, for instance, but this one is a lot more prominent. You feel it a lot more, especially this function or massage called cat tap. Feels like there's a small paws tapping at your back, and you really feel the individual tapping on both sides of your back. Really great feeling. I can recommend that one. So we have tested range and consumption, acceleration and noise. And this car actually delivers on all points. When it comes to WLTP range, spot on. We actually beat the WLTP range with 1 kilometer, 479 stated, 480 proven. When it comes to acceleration, 3.9 seconds stated, 3.9 seconds proven. Noise level, I haven't seen any official figures on the actual cabin noise, but I can tell that in this segment, this is most likely one of the most silent cars that's possible to get today. If you ask me, it's a great car in all aspects. I wish that the consumption could have been a bit lower. I'm expecting a bit more range for that size of a battery pack. I mean, 100 kilowatt hours of gross capacity, 95 kilowatt hours of net capacity. That's a big chunk of a battery. I mean, it should be able to deliver a bit more range, at least over 600 kilometers, but it's still on par with the WLTP range, so nothing strange in that manner. The biggest competition for the EL7 is the BMW iX, the Mercedes EQE SUV, the Xpeng G9, and the Audi e-tron Q8. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the four main competitors to the EL7. And I think this is a really valid choice on the market among those cars. It all cooks down to what you like. So let me know in the comments below what you think about the EL7. Let us have a good discussion. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And as I always say, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.